Wen People Talk, Community Podcast. Wen People Talk, Community Podcast, yeah.
Hey everyone, this is our first Wen People Talk podcast, the StormX Community podcast, season vocal cord exchange here with Martijn. And we're going to do this. We hope you guys enjoy this content, and I'm really excited to have this discussion, chat with Martijn here. So Martijn, thank you for doing this. Thank you for allowing the community ambassadors to kind of work up this proposal, and you guys kind of supporting this and making yourself available. I hope you realize how special you are because you're the first one, and it's not signing.
Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. So I just want everybody who's watching this to just kind of understand the vibe here. We're just trying to have a conversation. This isn't really supposed to be an interview. We just kind of want to have a chat with two people who are just talking about anything really. It could be crypto, it could be not crypto, it could be life, it could be anything. So kind of don't really have a format for this. Just kind of gonna wing it and just hopefully we have a good discussion. So
awesome.
Martijn, I have a question for you. This is like my first thing. I'm curious. Your Discord handle, how do you pronounce it? Because I've heard
Dino.
Dino. Okay.
Yeah, it's Dino.
Okay.
So I live in a village with about 2,000 people, and there's a thing going on in that village where we all have special names for each other. So they called me Dino. I have no clue why it's Dino and why it's not another name, but it's Dino, and I actually kept that in the years after, and still have it.
So this is something
Dino,
from your youth, or is it like just more recent?
It's youth, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You stay in touch. Like, are you still kind of in the village you grew up in, or have you moved there?
No, I'm living in another village now. It's about 4 or 5 kilometers away from the village I was born. So I'm still really attached to my childhood. Let's call it that.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, I thought it was Tanu. I've always called you Tanu, but that's great to know that I've been mispronouncing it wrong the whole time. So
yeah, well, it's my real first name is Martijn, and that's also a name where a lot of people have difficulties with. I'm being called Martin, whatever. So anything is all right. If I don't respond, you know you need to call me something differently.
Duly noted. So the other thing I was kind of curious, how did you end up at StormX? Like, how did you end up, because crypto is just such a big space. And so what brought you here?
Yeah. So I started my crypto journey somewhere in 2016, 2017, I think. A friend from the village I was born introduced me to crypto and told me, listen up, you need to be on top of this. Get into crypto. I made a Bittrex account. It was still Bittrex was still the #1 exchange back then. Made a Bittrex account, bought some Bitcoin, and went from there. That friend of mine was really active and aggressively looking for ICO and pre-sale investments. So we did a couple, and at one point he told me, look at this company, StormX, check it out. Perhaps it's a great company. So I went in their Telegram channel. I think this was somewhere around September 2017, and I started helping in the Telegram. So responding to questions from people. I had a chat or two with Simon and some other co-workers, and from there they asked me, StormX asked me if I didn't want to do more for them. Yeah, and the rest is history. And here I am now, being the first in the podcast. So
you've arrived.
Yeah. I've arrived.
You've arrived.
Yes.
So community manager, that's your title, right?
I am my title is head of community and head of customer care. So okay. Next to community, I also handle everything. It's also community. So you can look at it as community in some way, but all the issues our community members and our app users have, they come to me and my team. I have three people working with me on customer care: Sheila, Annalyn, and Lovejoy. I am sure all of you had contact with one of them in if you send in a support ticket. So yeah, that's my official title.
Wow, that's cool, man. Just from a Telegram participant, right? You were just a
And that's
person,
it. Yeah.
just a person in the
I was
Telegram.
just a random Dino
Wow.
answering questions, and yeah, it gave me it gave me more certainty that it's always important to have good to have a good network, to have good contacts, to always finish things up in a good in a good way, instead of in a different way. That's what actually brought me here with StormX.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I mean, you had said you were kind of chasing so many ICOs, and in those days, I mean, it was probably pick. I mean, it had to be so many to pick from.
True.
When StormX came, or I guess it was Storm then at that point, but whenever they came to you, what was it that made you say, yeah, sure, I'll do this?
Well, the back in 2017, you had a couple of things you needed to look at in order to make a decision if you wanted to participate or not. So for me, with Storm, indeed, back in the days, it was called Storm. Before that, it was called Bitmaker. But they already had a product, a working product. They had users playing games on the app, which was already a big thing. If you look at, I think if you look at 95% of all the ICOs done in 2017, nobody had a product. It was all white paper, additional information, and based on that, you make an investment, yes or no. And with StormX, or with Storm back in the days, it was so different. I spoke with Simon a couple of times, and he is just, he has such a vision in if you look at what he wants to achieve and how he wants to achieve it. Yeah, it was something I personally wanted to follow. So based on that, it went from A to B to C to where we are now.
Yeah, I'm curious. Has it changed much over those years? I mean, you've been there many years now.
It changed a lot. I think StormX is way more mature now than it was back in 2017. I think the bear market also made us to who we are. I'm always proud to say that we not only survived the bear market, but we also thrived in the bear market. If you look at Storm back in the days, where it was in 2017, and if you look at it now, it's a difference between day and night. And if you compare it to a lot of other projects that were also starting in 2017, and now you see that a lot of people a lot of companies are still at the same level, or even at a lower level than that they were in 2017. So yeah, I think a lot has changed for the better.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious too, what do you think it is about yourself that caught the eye of StormX to want to include you in an official role?
The difficult questions are there.
Sorry, I'm going to ask you to talk about yourself.
Okay. I think I am always positive, and I always try to see the good in everything. Besides the fact that I just like talking to people, and when I got so hyped about crypto that I wanted to learn everything about it, and I wanted to speak to people that know more about crypto than I do. And StormX was a place where a lot of those people were. So yeah, perhaps it was also just something that was meant to be. I joined so many Telegram channels, and StormX was the one where it really worked, and where we found a way it's not perhaps not the best thing to phrase, but where we both had the same ideas about crypto and the same ideas about growing a company. I think that's the right way to pronounce it. And yeah, perhaps it was just a match made in heaven.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is, what is it about crypto, because there's such a wide range of how people are approaching crypto and what they see it becoming, and the paths they see it taking. What is it about your view of where you see crypto going that made it such a good fit with StormX's view of where crypto is going?
Yeah, so the best thing for me with StormX is that they integrate something that everybody does and align it with crypto. So everybody shops, everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people play games. And now you can earn a little bit of crypto while you shop. And I think that's the way to gain mass adoption. It's not letting people learn about crypto and then in the hope that they will understand and that they will follow up on the things that you learned them. But StormX is just giving people an opportunity to earn a little bit of crypto while you're doing shopping, your day-to-day shopping. If they have interest in crypto, yes or no, it doesn't matter. They earn crypto while they just shop. And I know you know, John, but a shopping trip at StormX is just the same as a shopping trip directly with AliExpress, for example. It only needs one additional push of a button.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to make people, or to get people interested in crypto and blockchain overall.
So you're not really thinking like, it's almost like you're taking it for granted that people are already interested in crypto, and then StormX is a great solution for people to kind of layer into their behavior already. So it's not necessarily like you're trying to establish like, oh, you need to get in crypto. It's more like if you're going to have an interest in the crypto space and cryptocurrencies and blockchain and everything, this is the best way. So you're really feel like it's a good fit to get people into.
Now that's one indeed, but to give an example, my girlfriend, that she can perfectly explain to other people what StormX is about, but my girlfriend is not able to perfectly explain what crypto is about to people. So I think that's a perfect example of how we should gain mass adoption and StormX is one example, one great example where a lot of people can just benefit from crypto but not really be interested in crypto.
Yeah, that's true. I have a very similar experience. I know a lot of people who just want to be into it and they just have no idea why. Some of it's FOMO, some of it's just, I don't know how to explain it really well. It's just, there's like an unease in people. And it's kind of like, I feel like they want to get into the space, but there is a big barrier to get into it though, because the technology is largely over most people's heads, what's actually driving it. So it's kind of this interesting thing for me to observe is how people want something, but they don't know why sometimes, or what it is they want, but they want to get into it. They want to get exposure to it. And so it's just an interesting difference I see.
Yeah, but it still amazes me that so many projects try to do it the other way around. Make people believe in their product instead of selling a why. I don't know if you know Simon Sinek, but he told about the golden circle. So it's not what you sell or how you sell it, but it's why you sell it. And I think we know perfectly at StormX what our why is. And that's the most important thing in my opinion.
Yeah, one thing I like, me personally, one thing I get a little uncomfortable with a lot of crypto projects is I feel like they're trying to solve too many things too far down the road. And it makes me uncomfortable because I don't know that they can actually figure out what those problems will be in 5-10 years or whatever it is that they're supposed to solve. It would be like somebody saying, I designed the internet in say you have some sort of internet-based thing in 1994, and then saying, in 10 years, this will do this. And I just don't know, like, I feel like so many projects try to do too much of that. I mean, like, you obviously need path, you need vision, you need direction, but I get a little uncomfortable when it's like, we're going to solve everything. And I'm like, I don't know.
I agree. A big difference also is that in 2017 you would see a white paper for every project that will do an ICO or a fundraising, a crowd sale, whatever. But nowadays you don't even see those anymore. It's I think, and I don't like to give a number on it, but I think a big part of all the new projects only exist because they want to exist. I want to have a project. I'm the CEO of blah blah blah, and yeah, it's the same as a lot of products. They don't have a product. They just don't have anything, only something on paper. And 9 out of 10 times that thing that they have on paper sounds really great. But yeah, I think we all know the idea is an idea can be great, but executing the idea on a great level, and then simultaneously also managing the market you are in. And next to building a product, you also need to think about your token, the utility of the token. So it's crypto. Crypto is like a normal company, but we have 10 additional things to think about next to the fact that we still are a normal company, and every normal company needs to make revenue or have a product.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things to me about a lot of these crypto projects, where you have the companies and you have their tokens and how those kind of mesh together. And so it's like, obviously you have a business, you have to support the structure of the business itself. It's a corporation, it exists to do something. And then you have the token separate from it, and it provides utility in this. And it's kind of interesting to me to see this balance between the two play out. And that's kind of neat. It's a neat feature of crypto that I like. Yeah.
I agree. How cool is it that a company that you like, you can also discuss with the CEO about your own thoughts, and that's something I really like. If you look at a company like Nike, for example, there's not a Telegram, or in our case a Discord channel, where you can talk to people from Nike and share your ideas and share your general thoughts about it. And I think that's a big plus, but also a big, it's something every project needs to consider, that you have a community and the community is able to talk to you. So you need to handle it well and properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
which
really...
not always works, of course, but it's a learning curve. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're always going to have noise. You're always going to have noise, and you have to filter out
which
that.
Is good.
Where's there's value in the noise and refining it and getting into a signal, that you can actually respond to. So that's...
I agree.
Yeah.
And thinking everything is just not the way to go. Everybody learns, and I think that's really important to know that we have the opportunity to hear multiple people that are really interested in StormX. To just hear them out. I try to do it also. I from time to time I have chats with community members, and the only reason for me is just to hear them out. What are they saying? What are things that they would like to see within StormX? And it always is of some value, because there are always things in it where you think, okay, perhaps we can do it like this, or perhaps we can do it like that, and by that you learn and you try new things, if it works or not.
Yeah, and as someone on the community side, I really feel that strongly with the governance token. You know what I mean? I don't know that there was a lot of requests for it at the time of its release. I mean, maybe I wasn't hearing it. I mean, maybe I was totally oblivious to the request for it. But when you guys brought it out, I'm like, as it sank in, I'm like, I wasn't really asking for this individually, personally. I was really focused on what was already on the roadmap at that time, which was like debit and all these other products. But when I thought about the governance token, I'm like, wow, this is a step towards StormX is saying, we want our community to be a key part of our project, and we want to give them a way to have a voice and to include them in that process. And so, So what you just talked about, like, I really felt that as you guys rolled out the governance token, and so that,
I agree. I think the community already was a key part of StormX, but we are giving it a form now with governments, so that people can actually vote. For example, there are a couple of ways you can earn through the StormX app: Bitcoin, DAI, Litecoin, Ethereum, and StormX. But for all, I don't know if the community would like to see a different coin, and I think that would be a great governance vote to see if we can, yeah, add different coins. If you guys, if our community likes
Yeah.
it, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea. And it's really nice to be able to have that as something that's going to be built upon down the line. And
I agree.
it's exciting. Yeah. So I mean
I agree.
yeah, and so that's really just kind of the feedback from the community saying, hey, thank you for this. Like again, it wasn't something necessarily that I heard a lot of people asking for, and then you guys
it was.
you guys already kind of saw it. And so it's like, that's really neat to see that. So, it feels good on a community side to know that, hey, StormX is going to involve the community and include them going forward. And and even hearing Alex talk about it, it's kind of nice to get a feel like he's kind of like, we want to build this. We're not necessarily, I mean, I'm sure there's a vision, there's a framework, but it's still going to be a lot of building collaboratively with the community. It's not just going to be a team. So that's really exciting. And cool.
Yeah, every time I talk to Alex also, he constantly tells me that he's so happy that the community is truly involved, and it gives him different insights again, and based on those insights, you come to a final product. And I actually think that if you look at the shops we add, if you look at choices we make, we always try to involve the community as much as possible. And of course, things go wrong and things happen, but that's that life. It also is just those things happen. It's more that how you handle those things afterwards is what I think is the difference between company A or company B. Yeah,
nothing's ever going to go the way you want all the time, and it's just really how do you adapt?
Sadly not.
Yeah, sadly not. Maybe in the utopia we'll get there, but not right now.
And if you ever know how to do it, please tell me, okay?
I'll be long gone.
I figured.
I'll be on a beach somewhere. You'll know once I'm gone. I'll be on a beach, and then you'll know I figured it out.
Okay. Please tell me beforehand, okay?
Okay, I will. Yeah, I'll give you a little hint. You won't believe me, but
it feels like a shill, indeed.
You'll be like, you're nuts. What are you, crazy? That's stupid.
Cool.
Yeah, but
okay.
So I have another question. Is kind of getting off of some of the crypto stuff here. I'm just kind of curious. So I have this view. Hopefully, it's not too crazy, but I have this view that like every single person on Earth has a superpower. They have something that makes them unique, but in a way that they return just like they're just good at something. They're just good at something unique to them. It provides something special. And I always feel like when people find that thing and they're able to execute it and really lean into that, and that becomes a core part of who they are and what they do day to day, they find like just a piece about them. There's something special in that moment. And I'm curious, do you have a superpower? Do you know what it is? Have you ever thought about something like that?
I would have loved to have these questions beforehand so I could have a thought about it. Let me think about it. Do I have a superpower? Well, and I don't really know if you can call it a superpower, but what I always experienced is that people like to have me around. And I am an extrovert. I like to talk. I like to explain things, and I like to be positive and happy. And I have a way that when I'm happy and positive, people around me are also happy and positive. And for example, when I am negative and grumpy, for example, people around me also get grumpy and negative. So it's not it's not a superpower, but it can help me, but it can also bother me. This is a hard one, John.
No, I know it is. That's the point.
To think about.
No, I've thought about it for you. So I'd be curious to know what you think, because sometimes other people can see things in you that maybe you don't fully capture yourself. And I'd be curious to know if you agree with what I think it is, because it's along those lines. It's along those lines of what you just shared. Like, I really think that you have an ability to get the best out of people, just whatever it is, you can see it, you see value in everybody, because not everybody does. Some people view people as impediments to what they want, or helpful to what they want. But I feel like you're really good at seeing the value in
Thanks.
every single person. And not everybody's able to do that, because it's hard sometimes. I mean, we've all experienced very difficult people in our lives, but I really feel like you're able to see the positive in every single person. And you're able to do it in a way, you're able to communicate and interact with people in a way that comes out of them, of their own will. Like, you're not just like telling them, "I'll do this," in the sort of authoritarian kind of top-down manner. You're able to direct situations in a way that the best comes out of people. And I think that's really special. So like, I think that's your superpower.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks. I first of all, I feel flattered by you telling me this, but I think you are right. We just phrased it a little bit differently. Also because I'm from the Netherlands, so I think that's
right. I'm sorry, but
no worries. But I have a question for you. What's your superpower then, John?
Oh boy. So I think for me, I'm able to see things other people have trouble seeing, and then explicitly explain it. Like, I'm able to pull this sort of like, I feel like there's a mood in life. There's situations you get into, and there's a sort of like underlying feeling, emotion governing everything. And I feel like I'm able to detect that, like kind of step out of a situation, take a step.
I agree.
Look top down on it objectively, figure out what it is that's actually going on, and then I'm able to explicitly express it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's 100% true. I think everything you say always has something in it that you can use. So everything you say is useful, and everything you say is really thought of. For me personally, I am a guy that most of the time I speak before I think, and it brings me to places, but also it cuts me out of specific places. But for you, I always have the feeling that you thought about everything, every word you said, and that's something I personally really admire. So you're an ambassador. Everybody here knows that, along with Hakeem and JC. So there was a reason why we asked you guys to be an ambassador, and I think the reason for you was mainly what you are telling me now, is because you also have a way to explain things to people that make them, okay, I understand. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, okay. I understand now. Now that he explained it. So you had time to think about this question, John. I see already.
Well, it's something I personally, so I mean, on a personal level, I work in a company. We have a lot of employees, and so I've always felt that connecting people with their unique abilities provides deep meaning for them. And sometimes in business, you compensate people the best you can. You give them the best pay you can, you give them the best benefits you can, but that's not enough. I feel like people want to work, and they want to feel meaning. They want to feel value. They want to feel purpose.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much time at work. And so
I agree.
For me, I've always thought about what are people's superpowers and how do you let them express that in their jobs. And so like, I feel like it's true because we're all so unique. We all have different experiences. And so we don't all have the same special talents and abilities. No. Yeah, we're all in an organization, whether it's a business, whether it's whatever organization you're in, a church, a community project, crypto project, whatever it is, we all have different talents and abilities. And so I always try to see like, what are the people's superpowers? Because if you can help them express it, that impact in their lives is incredible. And so that's how, for me, I feel like where I work with employees, we have a community. And so the best expression of our community is when people are connecting with that part about them that's special. So that's why I've thought about it a lot. I think it's really important that people do that. And I feel like you're in a position at StormX where you're able to express that. And so I think that's really neat. I hope you feel that way. I hope you feel that way because
I do. I certainly do. And I think that's also the reason. So how I started with StormX also has to do with the superpower you are telling. It's and in my case, I mean, so when I came in Telegram in 2017, it was my interest and the way I communicate and how I speak it helps people be enthusiastic. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, enthusiastic.
And so that helps. That helped a lot for me. Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's
cool
funny
question.
too, you touched a little bit too that you feel like sometimes you can bring a mood down though. And that's really funny because you obviously have superheroes and villains. And I think it's really interesting that oftentimes, you can use your superpower for yourself, in a negative way. And so I think it's really interesting you touched on that because,
it's my pitfall within my superpower.
Yeah.
Is that correctly pronounced? In the Netherlands we say valkuil, and I try to look for a translation, but I don't know if it's
pitfall. Yeah, no, that works perfect.
If you have a superpower and you use it for the worse. In my case, if I'm negative, I should not talk a lot because I bring that negativity over. It's my pitfall within my superpower.
Yeah, and for me, like
if that's not correctly, no. John, you were going to remove this. Okay.
No, it's correctly good. Yeah, and I mean, in full disclosure, I mean, I went through a period of my life in my early 20s where I would use what I'm able to do to manipulate people. You can manipulate people. You could give them a false interpretation of what's in front of them.
Yeah.
Because you can make it sound good. And then, you can manipulate people and you can get what you want. And so like I went through a period of my life where it was pretty rough because, luckily I had people around me who were calling me out. You know what I mean? That's what friends and family are for. They call me out and it's like, okay, I need to mature and really, see what's good, and how do I help stuff. So it's just kind of interesting how that can play out for people.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, kind of shifting gears a little bit again too. Like I'm curious, your English, how'd you pick up English? It's pretty good.
Yeah, gaming. I think it all started with gaming. My parents didn't told me that I could only spend 30 minutes a day on a computer. So because of that, I think I picked up my the most of my English. And of course, I live in the Netherlands, and English is we already get English language when we are 7 years old or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we are an export country, so English is also really important for us to just understand it. So I think that's the main reason. It's funny because my daughter, 13 years old now, she I think her best thing is also English. So it's funny to see that it goes from generation to generation. She's also a gamer, by the way. So I think that's.
I'm glad you've moved on from all the gaming language too, because usually it's you just pick up all the curse words and.
But it's funny to see because I think when PCs first came, I played games also on, and let me rephrase it. When the internet just came, I started playing games a lot also. So a lot of my friends, they had parents and said, I only want you to spend 30 minutes behind the computer because it's not bad for you. Because it's bad for you, you get square eyes. That's something I heard a lot with my friends. So but it was mainly ignorance and not knowing what it's about to tell your children only 30 minutes of internet. Luckily my parents didn't do that, and that gave me a head start, especially we're working in a company, we're working in an American company as a Dutch guy from a city with 2,000 people in.
Wow.
I think Yeah. That's it's also funny because a lot of people around me, they also ask me how did it ever happen that you're working for a company in the US and not just a company around the corner here, something like that. So it's I think it started there, something.
Yeah, that's really cool because like I feel like you've said yes to many things along your life path that led you to this moment. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you said yes to gaming and you picked up English. You said yes to your friend who said, "Hey, get into cryptocurrencies." You know, it's like this, like you said yes to the right things, and it's kind of like it uniquely prepared you to be where you're at.
I agree. In 2017, I worked for my father. He had a kind of big marketing company with 25 people working there, and I worked there for 3 years with the idea to take over his business. But yeah, then crypto came and StormX came. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take over the company. I have a different ambition, and I want to try that. He always supported me, by the way.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he never showed me that he was sad about it or whatever. And what is it? 15 months ago, he sold the whole company.
Wow.
So yeah, cool. Not to me though.
No,
No.
got other things going.
No, yeah. I'm doing stuff with a US company. So
yeah,
no, not for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool because I mean, for me, like my dad, the business I run, I have 2 business partners, and it was my dad's business that he started, and so I was never going to be involved in it, but I ended up now being part owner, and so it's just kind of funny.
Oh, it's for you the other way around.
It is the other way around, and now I'm like, oh, this crypto thing is really interesting. So it's like I'm late to the game.
That's what I said back in 2017. I'm late, but I don't think anyone is late until we have regulations and everything around it.
Yeah, I think you're right. There are people who are still saying we're early, and it definitely feels early.
I was really afraid. I was really afraid that I was too late back in 2017. And now thinking about it, I'm thinking, why would you think that? Why would you think that you're late? And why it's such a stupid idea, but it's everybody talks about it. So, okay, I'm late.
Nobody wants to be late.
It's called fashionably late,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I'm not fashionable.
Yeah, I know. No, me neither.
I'm unfashionably on time every time.
yeah, same here. Yeah. Just boringly on time. Cool job.
Yeah. Well, I that's about all the time I wanted to take from you today, Martijn. I really appreciate the conversation. Before we close, I don't know, do you have anything else you want to say or add or?
No. What I do want to say is that I really appreciate you guys doing this kind of stuff. I'm not really sure if the community is aware, but I had nothing to do with the things you are doing now, right? This podcast, the cashback hacks, it are all ideas coming out of you, and you and the other ambassadors. I mean, if I say you, I mean the other ambassadors also. And that's really amazing. That's more than I hoped for at the beginning, and I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
love working with you guys.
Yeah, we do too. We really appreciate just you letting us do this stuff. You know, we know it takes time and energy that from you and the rest of the team in doing these things. You know, it's not. I mean, we do a lot of the work, but it's not cost free for you guys. And so, you know, we know you have a lot of great objectives. You have a lot of great plans. You have a lot of great product paths that you're trying to stay on track with. And, you know, it's a big focus, but we really appreciate you guys giving us, you know, a little bit of your time to review these things, to support these things, and also to do these interviews. You know, this interview is just really valuable to us. And we really hope that the community finds this valuable as we continue to do this. So, I mean, thank you too.
I think it will. And like you said in the beginning, it's also nice to know a person instead of only a name, Dino. Something like that, you know, and I think that's also really important.
Yeah, I want everybody in our community to know everybody's superpower at StormX, because I think it's a special thing. So
I am really curious to know everybody's superpowers.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
That's
send,
that's going to be a reoccurring question, right?
yeah. So each of us are going to have a reoccurring question, and that one's mine. So,
Cool.
yeah. So
Awesome, man. John, thanks for your time also.
Yep. Thank you. And so everyone who's watching this, we hope you enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next one.
See you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.